What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. I am Adam McCullough. This is Stretford Paddock, and this is your daily Manchester United news. And we've got lots to get stuck into today. We are talking Harry Kane, Alexis Mac Allister transfer news. We are looking at the sale of Manchester United and what the latest is on that, with reports that the Glazers could be set to stay. And we'll also be looking at a new statue that is going to be unveiled at Old Trafford. We're going to get stuck into all of that, but before we do, let me ask you a little bit of a favor. Hit that subscribe button right about now. We want to hit 700,000 subscribers. We can only do that with your help, so hit that subscribe button right down there somewhere and keep it locked to Stretford Paddock. We've got plenty coming up for you as the season draws to a close, and of course with the summer ahead. But let's get stuck into this transfer news. As I said, lots going on today. In fact, we're not going to start with the transfer news. We're going to start at a special place, and a statue being unveiled at Old Trafford, outside the Stretford end on the 3rd of May, 65 years to the day after Jimmy Murphy led the club to the FA Cup final at Wembley. Jimmy Murphy deserves a statue at Old Trafford. He helped Manchester United through that period as well, where Sam Matt Busby couldn't manage the team after the Munich air disaster, and so Jimmy Murphy guided Manchester United through that period. So obviously a huge Manchester United legend, someone that as a kid I was one of those geeks. Everyone knew me in school. I was a geek about Manchester United, and I used to learn about all the history and read up on everything. And he was someone's name that would often pop up when you're reading up and you're researching Manchester United's past days and around, just after the Munich air disaster and stuff. And I've heard a lot of older Reds as well saying that there needs to be a statue of him. There needs to be something done to honour him. Obviously, at the training ground, they have part of the training ground is dedicated to him. But people have wanted something at the stadium for a while, so it's good that this is finally getting done. And on May the 3rd, you'll be able to see the statue unveiled to a true Manchester United legend in Jimmy Murphy. So happy that that's being done. I've heard it mentioned a few times before, so yeah, good to finally see. Getting stuck into some transfer news now then. We're looking at PSG and the Mirror reporting via other people that PSG have declared their transfer interest as Manchester United draw up a Harry Kane swap deal plan. It says Harry Kane appears increasingly likely to be leaving Tottenham this summer as PSG looks set to rival United interest in the England captain. It says they will attempt to beat Manchester United to the signing, and United boss is on red alert. Now, it feels like a lot is being made out of nothing yet. Maybe PSG have been linked, and therefore the Mirror have put 2 and 2 together and put United's name in the mix. Because obviously we will be interested, but this doesn't feel like a development, really. It just feels like a bit of transfer gossip. It just feels like a bit of transfer news. Also, I can't see Harry Kane going to PSG for some reason. It'd be a good move for him. He'd win a league. He could challenge for the Champions League, but I can't see him looking to leave the Premier League. And if he does, I don't think he'd go to PSG, although they'd be front of the queue for him, I'm sure. So I think if Man United want him, the competition is probably going to come from within the Premier League. That competition is probably whittled down a little bit now because of the fact City probably not going to be interested anymore. He's not going to go to Arsenal because Tottenham wouldn't sell to them. He's not going to go to Chelsea for the same reasons. So then it probably leaves Man United as the only option for him in the Premier League unless he's going to go to Newcastle. I wouldn't be surprised to see Harry Kane join United. But at the same time, and we'll talk about the sale later, with that being delayed, how much transfer business are we going to be able to do? And also, what price are Spurs going to want for him? They're not going to let him go for cheap. They're going to want a lot of money for him. He's had a lot of injuries. I think he's still got a few big years in him, to be totally honest with you, and I think he'd score goals, but are the Osimhens and those kind of younger strikers better given the price? Although Osimhen would probably cost more than Kane. Napoli don't let players go easily, so there's that too. So it's all up in the air. Obviously United need a number 9, but who will it be? Osimhen, Kane, Tony. I want one of them free. Anyway, moving on from that to another story about Brighton's Alexis Mac Allister, and it comes from Cesar Merlo. And they say Manchester United and Liverpool are the clubs that are bidding the most to stay with Alexis Mac Allister. It says stay with because it's a translation. But who will surely leave Brighton in the summer. Are still monitoring him, but he's not advancing firmly for now. What is done will be with the consensus of his current club. So it looks like it's going to be a bidding war type situation for Alexis Mac Allister. I think he's a very good player. He's never really struck me as someone that I would want us to sign. But he's a very good player, talented. Brighton sign good players. What I would do though is see who Brighton are looking to buy in next and buy him instead. Because Brighton just got such good recruitment. You look at the likes of Moises Caicedo. You know, they brought in Cucurella. They sold him for a lot. You know, they're bringing other players in. They've got such a talented squad. Good players all over the place. And you know for a fact they're going to sell a few players for big money and bring in some other good talent. Maybe we should just beat them to that other good talent first because it's probably pretty good. But yeah, Alexis Mac Allister. Would you guys want us to sign him? I've not really spoken to United fans about Alexis Mac Allister. Should United sign Alexis Mac Allister? Get your thoughts in the comments below. And the final story today comes from the Mail. And they say the full sale of Man United is still the most probable outcome despite multiple offers for a partial stake as third and final deadline approaches, with the Glazers aware of the potential outrage if they decide not to sell. Now, I've been saying all along that I feel like that's negotiation tactics and they're trying to crank up. Because if you notice, around every time there's a round of bidding, you know, there was one before, second round of bidding, and now there's a third round of bidding that ends in about 10 days. There's always this story that the Glazers want to stay. And I'm sure the Elliott Management Group and Carlisle Group and whoever else are offering them money, you know, to take a partial stake and for them to retain control of the club. But I just can't see it happening personally. I think they're going to take the money, 5, 6, 7 billion, whatever it is. They're going to take the money. And it's mad when you think about it. United are 1.5 to 2 billion worse off because of these clowns. And they're going to swan off into the sunset with all that. Absolutely mental. But be happy to see the back of them. And I hope, fingers crossed, we will. The only problem is this extension of the bidding now, because these guys want to bring in more money and crank it up even more, means United are probably going to be sold in the transfer window. That's that issue. Like, we need to get stuff sorted for Eric Ten Hag before the transfer window. Not that the Glazers care about where we are as a football team and what we're doing as a football team, because, I mean, when have they ever? But anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're keeping it like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning into Stretford Paddock. As I said, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, see you soon.